This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
This is going to be an extremely busy month. I have to watch 104 soccer games, follow the pregame, the postgame, yell useless opinions at the TV. It's a lot. So I knew that when it comes to screening for colon cancer, the choice was clear. The Cologuard Plus test. It can be used at home and can only take 15 minutes, so I can do it during halftime and not miss any action. If you are 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a prescription at Cologuard.com.
This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Watch all 104 matches of the FIFA World Cup live in 4K for just $19.99 a month with 3 days free. Build your own multi-view, choose up to 3 streams, and follow player spotlights. Stay on top of every moment with live stats, highlights, and instant replays. The FIFA World Cup, streaming live on Fox One. Offers are subject to change. See fox.com for complete terms and conditions.
Summer is officially here, and people around the world are making plans that involve parties, libations, and frivolities. Now, whether or not that also includes a Godzilla suit, rabid lobsters, and a regatta is entirely up to you. We're not here to judge your choices. What we are here to do is judge if one crazy summer is not that bad. Welcome one and all to It's Not That Bad, the podcast that looks for A grades in B movies. Hello to all of our listeners in Wiesbaden, Germany, and around the world. How the heck are you guys doing? Okay, so every now and then, a movie goes on the whiteboard, and it sits there for a bit. And it takes us a little bit to get there because, we get sidetracked. We see a squirrel and we start to run. That happens. But this movie finally gets to come off the whiteboard, much to the happiness and titillation of my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing?
I'm great. And I'm so happy that the naked cherub found us and shot you with the love arrow, the arrow of love.
Okay, it took a while to find this movie because One Crazy Summer has literally been on your wish list. This might have actually been one of the first movies you put down on a sheet of paper when we were initially thinking of movies to talk about. Once we found out that it qualified, and the look of horror on your face when you found out it qualified was priceless.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. This movie is everything. This movie was my childhood growing up. This was the picture I had of summer vacation.
This was the picture you had of summer vacation?
Yeah. The boats and the ugly dog and the ugly twin kids. Whoo.
I question your idea of a good summer vacation.
And the lobster in the pool.
You are not selling this.
Yeah.
More to the point, it's not that you're not selling the movie. It's just you're not selling your ideal version of summer vacation.
And drive-ins.
Okay, drive-ins, I can completely agree with you here. But yeah, One Crazy Summer. But I also, I don't want to put a spoiler on things here for you. And I don't want to bring you down. I don't want to bring this party down to the ground. But this was your childhood, you said, right?
Yes.
This movie turns 40 years old this year.
I know.
Your childhood is way in the rearview mirror at this point.
Yeah, but this movie still exists, and I am totally here for it.
All right. Well, before we get into it, we need to take One Crazy Summer and trailerize it.
There once was a guy who went to Nantucket. He met a nice girl and wanted to date her. Come on, guys. With his best friend George and Clay Ack and Egg, they put together a crazy plan that has many a question to beg. To save Cassandra's house, their plan will go full steam ahead. Win the regatta, get the house, and show up a douche named Ted. In One Crazy Summer, John Cusack stars. Rated PG for Cassandra plays the guitar.
I've been waiting all day for this. I really have.
The minute you realize that this film takes place in Nantucket, there was really only one way to go for the trailer eyes, because come on. All right, well, let's get into who is in this movie. The movie stars John Cusack, Demi Moore, Curtis Armstrong, Bobcat Goldthwait, Joel Murray, Joe Flaherty, Matt Mulhern, Tom Villard, Mark Metcalf, William Hickey, Jeremy Piven, Kimberly Foster, Billy Bird, Bruce Wagner, and Kristen Goles. This is actually the very first theatrical role for Jeremy Piven. However, there's a sort of pseudo almost starring in this, because the role of George, John Cusack's best friend in this, Jeremy Piven was actually auditioning for that role, but Joel Murray got that role instead, and Jeremy Piven was cast in another role.
Ooh, I think they made a wise choice. I do.
But it's interesting because keep in mind, Jeremy Piven is not just John Cusack's friend, but his former roommate. So the chemistry may have been off the charts for that.
Oh, like in real life?
In real life, they were roommates.
Oh. Interesting.
The movie is written and directed by Savage Steve Holland, who also directed John Cusack in Better Off Dead previously. Also directed Legally Blondes, the sequel. He was also the writer of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures animated series and creator of Sabrina the animated series and the cartoon series Eek the Cat on Fox TV. So you can see where the animation kind of comes into play. Apparently, though, back in 2016, so like 10 years ago, Steve Holland admitted that he was trying to put together a sequel with Bobcat Goldthwait called One Epic Fail.
A sequel to this movie?
A sequel to this movie.
Oh.
Now, they weren't sure if John Cusack or Demi Moore would be in it, but apparently they were talking about this 10 years ago. Nothing's been done yet, but they were talking about it.
That would be fascinating.
The film had a budget of $9 million, only made $13 million, though, at the box office. When it was released on the August 8th, 1986 weekend, and I just feel so old saying that sentence, debuted at number 4. It was the highest grossing debut that week with $3.4 million. It sat behind the 4th week of Aliens, which came in with $5.7 million, number 1. The Karate Kid Part 2 with $3.6 million in its 8th week. And Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives, which brought in $3.5 million. Right behind One Crazy Summer, though, was Top Gun in its 13th week with $3.4 million. But there were a few other debuts that weekend. At number 9 was A Fine Mess, a movie that stars Ted Danson and Howie Mandel that made $2.6 million. In very limited release in only 16 theaters, Stand By Me debuted at number 18 with $242,795, but that's still a very high per screen average. And She's Gotta Have It debuted at number 19 with 1 week, 1 theater, $28,473. But there was one other movie debuting in the theaters that weekend. And this is why I did not go see One Crazy Summer in the theaters, because the Transformers the movie debuted at number 14 with $1.7 million. I guarantee you I was some of that money a couple times, because it's the Transformers the movie. I still can't believe that's 40 years old this year. Optimus Prime's death still hits me. Still hits like a truck. But the reason why we are here, not just because this movie is on Carrie's, wall of fame of summer movies, are the critics. Over at Rotten Tomatoes, the film has a tomatometer of 45% with a popcorn meter of 63%. The Metascore over at Metacritic is also similar to the tomatometer at 47%, but everyone else kind of leans more towards the popcorn meter. Letterboxd, 3.2 stars out of 5 for a 64% score. IMDb, also 64%, and the movie database, 60 right on the nose, giving this film the aggravated aggregate of a college fail, 57.16%. So, Carrie, we got 45 as your low number, 64 as your high number. Are we within that range?
I was to assume there's no math on the final exam before summer break. It's low.
This is remedial.
It's low. Honestly, is this movie perfect? No.
God, no.
But I hold it in high regard. To me, it's up there. It is the Mount Rushmore of movies. Okay, I'm gonna go off a little bit later, but it is not a college fail. It's not.
I'm sorry, it's not even in the Mount Rushmore of films in theaters that week.
No, but to me it is. This movie means something.
Like a pile of mashed potatoes. This means something.
33 days, 33 episodes, no off switch. From the goals and the glory to the politics and the problems of the World Cup. If you want soccer analysis from a podcast that's been over-analysing the game for more than 20 years, then this is it. Join me, Max Rushton, and our expert team of soccer journalists every day of the tournament. Can England end 60 years of hurt, or will this be another year of falling just short? Probably. World Cup Daily, listen wherever you get your podcasts, or watch full episodes on YouTube.
Need a laptop that's built to perform and designed to last all day? Select Windows 11 PCs starting at $499.99 are now at Best Buy. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
Choice Hotels get you more of what you value. Comfort Inn, it's calling your name. Save on the stay. Oh, and free waffles are yours to claim. Book direct at choicehotels.com.
All right, well, let's get to the breakdown of this. We're going to start with John Cusack, of course, as Hoops McCann. Your thoughts?
Oh my God. Yes. Just yes. This wasn't even on my radar. We talked about John Cusack and I just didn't associate that it was John Cusack. Because was this his first role? Because he was so young. He was so young in this role. That I don't know, maybe I'm used to an older, more mature John Cusack, but I mean, he was perfect. He was like just a nice level of, I don't know, love lost. Like he just, not that he lost love. Love never found him. And all he wanted was to be loved. He wanted to find someone to love. He was on a quest for love. And I would say love kind of found him and followed him, jumped into the car, and, then they had to take a boat, which he wasn't a big fan of, and landed in Nantucket. And it's interesting how they were both going to the same place.
I mean, it's not his first film. His first theatrical film was Class, released in 1983. So, I mean, that's, still 3 years prior to this. But I mean, even before this, he was in 16 Candles, Grandview USA, The Sure Thing, Better Off Dead. Again, same director for Better Off Dead, and The Journey of Natty Gann. But we're kind of before the John Cusack era, because of course, Say Anything was released in 1989. But the thing is it me? Maybe it's the script. Maybe it's the script that has Hoops kind of brooding the whole way through, but I'm just not feeling it. Like the whole relationship or want a relationship with Cassandra angle feels like the B plot in comparison to all the hijinks that's happening. Like, is it me?
But that's what the movie's about.
I know the movies are about the hijinks, but it feels like there's a way to write around this. There is. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit. But I mean, it's just, I wasn't feeling John Cusack in this.
Okay, but he wasn't unlovable because even Teddy's girl was like a magnet drawn to Hoops. Like,
but why?
She wanted him.
Why? I mean, I'm not saying John Cusack isn't an attractive man, but the thing is that there's nothing in his mannerisms on the beach in that moment that says that Cookie would want a date with John Cusack's character. There's nothing. I don't get it. It's like that whole angle was written to create conflict. And
you've got to admit that out of the group of his friends, his lovable loser crew, he was the biggest catch of the lobsters in the pool.
Okay, that's like being the coolest kid at table 16 at a wedding.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was the coolest kid in Nantucket.
That's not saying much given everything that was going on in Nantucket at the time, right? We're talking about a place where apparently, big shells are being exploded on the beach. There's some guy with a bazooka who's firing it at a radio station, and a regatta that's basically like Mad Max on the water. Like it's Nantucket's a little off the normal path here, as far as, I mean, not as crazy as those in Highway to Havasu, since we already talked about that a couple of weeks ago. But I mean, the thing is that I couldn't get behind the writing of Hoops. John Cusack is always going to be like kind of a gem, but I just wasn't feeling. Now, apparently, Cusack, and this is all in IMDb, so Cusack wasn't necessarily happy with the director because of the failure of Better Off Dead beforehand. They were apparently fine by the end of the filming this, but apparently like Cusack never talked to the director afterwards. So I don't know, maybe that initial apprehension to do another movie with the director bleeds into it. I just wasn't feeling it.
Okay, respect. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion.
You're hating
even
every
though it's
minute of this.
Wrong. Someone on the internet's wrong. Someone on the side of the microphone is wrong.
Okay.
And it's not me.
I
wrong.
do have good things to say about this film.
Okay, good.
But it's not necessarily about the character Hoops. It's also not the same for Cassandra, played by Demi Moore.
Oh, you're going to attack her with her hippie clothes and was it what they call corn husk hair?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh.
But the thing is that we've seen this kind of character before, the girl with the positive attitude, a little down on money, needs to play guitar in order to be able to try to do something. We saw this in Howard the Duck with Leah Thompson, which coincidentally was still in theaters at the time that this movie debuted. Because Howard the Duck debuted in 1986 as well. But the thing is, I didn't mind Demi Moore in this, but the turnaround from her being upset with Hoops for not showing up at the Dewdrop Inn and to be like, okay, we're cool now. We can be together now. Like,
yeah,
when did that happen?
She saw his effort. He completely went from, she was handing out handwritten, probably photocopied posters promoting her show. He created with his crew an animation, and they pirated the drive-in movie and started promoting her show. And then the next day they were out handing out pamphlets as well, like animated, really high quality looking advertisements. I mean, they worked to fill the club, the Dewdrop Inn.
We were missing the reconciliation moment though. Because the before we saw them, at the house getting ready for the gig, she spotted him on the street corner handing out flyers and didn't give a smile or anything, just kind of walked away. And the next thing you know, like he's at her place while she's getting ready for the gig. Like,
but that was her moment of realization that he's trying.
But we didn't see it in her face. We didn't see it. I don't know. I was missing that moment of reconciliation. The other thing too, I'll give Demi more credit because she sang that song.
Oh yeah,
herself, and it's on the soundtrack.
And she was adorable. She was so great. She was so likable, and like you said, so positive. Even though she had in whatever town they were in before, she had like a group of biker bad guys chasing after her for, her money.
Who we never saw again.
And well, no, but the guy with the purple hair, landed in the lake.
Okay, but they know where that boat is going. Like, get on the next boat. Like, there's that much money. I mean, yes, the money got tossed out at the gas station, but really, they know where she's going. I don't know. There's a lot of things that happen conveniently. Like, how did she get a backup band that fast that was able to learn all of her songs? I'm just saying that the A plot feels secondary to a few things. Joel Murray, who plays George Calamari. This is Hoops' best friend. Your thoughts on him?
I liked him. I liked that, I think he was a better choice over Jeremy Piven. As much as I really like Jeremy Piven, I think it would have been, I don't know, less believable, or Piven just he looks like he was meant to be with, the posh, the Teddy, the
looks
little
like a
rich boys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't be running with like the lovable losers. There's no way.
That's the thing. Like, if you lose Jeremy Piven as Ty, then Ty becomes a weaker character. I liked Joel Murray in this. I thought the character of George was good. I thought, he had some of the better one-liners. The whole getting gassed out while being stuck under the lawn chair on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, also, how did no one hear his cries for help while someone was sitting over top of him? Because
maybe the farts were that loud.
Oh, geez, God, and I mean, they made a choice with that camera angle at times. Cause
yeah, it wasn't a great shot.
No,
but
it was not.
At least he was shaded and he wouldn't get too much sun.
Yeah, shaded and shatted, if you will.
Oh,
yeah, I went there. But I mean, I like the fact that they kind of went back to that gag as well. I mean, it's George had some good moments in this. I kind of wish there was a little bit more, and I wish they kind of brought Hoops more into the hijinks a little bit, because not only did you have Joel Murray doing really well, you had Tom Villard and Bobcat Goldthwait as Clay and Egg Stork, the twins that are not twins. Your thoughts on them?
Loved. Absolutely love with a capital LOVE. The two of them were just so completely different, and yet they were sweet in a weird kind of way. Like, the scene where Bobcat is like talking about this, dare I say, this fat kid that used to get picked on, and he's telling this really sweet story, but then he's like, no, it wasn't me. I used to like shake him and go, why are you so fat? Why? In the Bobcat Goldthwait voice that only he can do. And it is just so funny.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the scenes where Clay, was clearly beaten up by Teddy, and Bobcat just gets so angry and just like wants revenge. And of course, that's where they tear Teddy's car apart. But it was justified.
Yeah.
Teddy was a jerk.
Oh, Teddy was such a jerk. But the thing is that, for lack of a better term, this is the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern of the film. This is the Statler and Waldorf from the Muppets. Like, these two were stealing the show at every single moment. Bobcat Goldthwait especially.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, I saw Tom Billard. I'm like, where was I? Where was it? Heartbreak Ridge, and I'm like, all of a sudden I had these memories of him in Heartbreak Ridge. I was like, okay, cool. I like that movie. It's all good. But then you got Bobcat, and like, there's something really cool about the fact that Bobcat Goldthwait's 80s shtick in the movies, and I think it's fair to call it a shtick because he doesn't talk like that in real life. But it never got annoying in any of the movies that he was in.
No, I think it adds to it. Like this, Police Academy. And you're right. It is the quintessential Bobcat character. Like Bobcat Goldthwait, if he's billed in a movie, you know what you're going to expect. And that is what he delivers. And it's even though it's expected, it's not overkill, and it never disappoints.
But that's the thing, like Bobcat Goldthwait and his 80s character kind of reminds me a little bit of Sam Kinnison's stand-up comedy. It was loud and in your face, but it never got annoying. You think about some people who got in on the premise of this character, this personality that they were on camera. Immediately I go to Pauly Shore. And you go, hey, buddy, he's in the juice. And that got annoying after a while. But yet Bobcat didn't. I don't know what it is. I think it has to go right to the likability of Bobcat Goldthwait on camera and even off camera now.
I agree. We spoke about this in...
but we did Police Academy.
I forget which Police Academy, though, where he finds love.
That was Police Academy 3, I believe.
Yeah, and there is just something so incredibly sweet and likable about him. And whether it's, him finding love in Police Academy or in this one, where he really is like a defender. He takes care of his brother. He takes care of his friends. Even though he makes mistakes and bumbles along the way, I don't know, like getting stuck in
the Godzilla
suit. Costume. And the scene is brilliant. But he realizes that he was running late and it was his own fault because he was getting, dressed up in these costumes, which was so funny,
I think it's safe to say that every single one of my favorite beats and moments in this film involves Bobcat Goldthwait. Curtis Armstrong as Ack Raymond, your thoughts on him?
Aw. Yeah, you know what? Again, it's a character that you feel for. His father was very militant and he wasn't living up to, even though he tried, and he, was like the oldest Boy Scout in the tribe, right? Like he tried and just eventually, wound up getting kicked out of his own home because he was a disappointment to his father, which it's so sad. And yet he was just so damn positive, like so likable. And so, you know what? He was a good friend to Hoops, and he was so, without a plan, there is no purpose. And, like it was a nice little, circle moment where they needed a plan to win the regatta.
Is it me, or does Ack have a better full character arc than the main characters?
Oh, no, I disagree with that.
Okay. How is Ack Raymond's character arc in this not better than Hoops?
Because Hoops overcame his fear of being on a boat and became the ship's captain so he could win the regatta to win back the house that Cassandra had lost in, I guess it was her family, right? And all she had to do was raise like $3,000, which she did, but the paperwork was already done up she lost this home, which they didn't really get into. I mean, they kind of dusted over that it was a home that I guess was in her family, and her grandfather passed away, and then the people who lived there were going to be displaced.
I don't know. That whole moment after the regatta, when Akak makes it out of the water after saving the guy from the other boat, and the moment with his dad, played by Joe Flaherty, who was also really good in this, but I mean, it's Joe Flaherty, you kind of expect that. That felt like a better movie ending. Like, there was something about Akak Raymond that I liked about the character. And that's a kudo to Curtis Armstrong and to Joe Flaherty, who added that layer as his dad unflinchingly. Matt Mulhern, who played Teddy Beckerstead, your thoughts on the baddie?
Ooh, yeah, he definitely he was a jerk, but I'm sure he as an actor is not a jerk, but he played Teddy as a jerk really well. Like, the stereotypical rich kid that literally spent more time, tanning and in his pool than actually even with his own girlfriend. And oh my God, he snapped his fingers and, demanded her attention. He was such an asshole, but he was so good at it. He was a good asshole.
I mean, that's the thing. You have to have someone who is going to dive into just exuding douchiness, if that works. But it's like a wrestler, right? The best heels get the best heel pops, right? If you can get the crowd to boo you even more, then you have done your job. Like, it's just one of those things where you want someone to be so unlikable. Character, not Matt Mulhern, but we're talking Teddy here. You want him to be unlikable. You want him to, that every time he gets his comeuppance, whether it's getting, bit in the ass by lobsters or losing out on something, or it doesn't matter, right? You want him to get his comeuppance, and we dislike Teddy so much that it becomes almost cathartic when Teddy gets what's coming to him. Same thing with Jeremy Piven, who played Ty. This is Teddy's little lapdog friend. Your thoughts?
As much as I've seen this movie and I love this movie, I completely forgot that Jeremy Piven was in it. And so when we were watching it again, I was like, oh my God, Jeremy Piven. Because I was so excited that he was in it. But again, totally not on my radar. But he was perfect. He was absolutely perfect as Teddy's, I don't know, like wingman. Like when he was at the drive-in and made sure to call Teddy and kind of rat out Cookie.
Yeah.
For being on a date with Hoops, right? Like that's low. But of course, he's, I don't know. He's one of Teddy's boys. So yeah. So of course he's going to sell out Cookie.
Yeah. I'm glad he's in this role, because you're right. He did pull off the prep look and the prep attitude really well. Like he was mean to the storks, when they got to, when they brought the boat in and all that. Like, you want someone to be, again, unlikable.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Piven's a freaking hilarious actor. Loved him in PCU, loved him in Smoking Aces. But I mean, like here, by the way, these are all movies that we've talked about on this show. Here, he just gets to revel in being secondhand douche, and you hate him for that, and it's great when you hate the people you're supposed to hate.
But you love to hate them.
Exactly.
The scene where they're on the boat and they're like passing by and they're all flipping off Hoops and crew.
Most cathartic middle finger.
Yeah, it was kind of perfect.
Kimberly Foster, who plays Cookie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't fault her for, I don't know, having a crush or wanting Hoops' attention, because at least Hoops is a good guy. He's a nice guy. I mean, she's dating an absolute jerk, so, but I mean, I didn't get it. What? Teddy was just okay with her going to the drive-in movie with Hoops, or you'd think they would have broken up. I don't. It just seemed weird.
Why is Cookie? That's the thing. like as Teddy's girlfriend, she kind of comes across as the rich kind of snobby kind of. You could see her easily in that posh Nantucket elites kind of vibe. There was no purpose or reason for her to ask Hoops to a movie while Teddy's at the party. It makes no sense, and it doesn't make us like Cookie anymore, and it actually makes us dislike Hoops a little bit, at least me.
I mean, aside from, she was eye candy. Let's be honest. Like, she, the scene where, she kind of introduced herself to Hoops in the beginning at the beach, where she's like, can you help me put my boat in the water? And, she's sitting on it while everyone else is carrying the boat. Like, that's her, I don't know, her grand.
That's her privilege kind of showing through there. Yeah.
Yeah. 1000%. Yeah. She was, again, like, I think necessary, but just eye candy.
The whole idea of asking Hoops on a date felt forced. At least, and again, there's a way to make this work by just rearranging some of the pieces. Mark Metcalf, who played Aguila Beckerstead, Ted's dad, your thoughts?
He was good. I really liked the, oh, hello, daddy. And then he's like sharing his evil plot with Teddy, like he was just so slimy, but he was so good at it. He was so good.
Yeah. It took me a little bit to get over the fact that I'm sitting there and I'm watching the film and I'm just like, I know this guy. Why do I know this guy? Turns out I didn't. He just reminded, and maybe it's because of the character that he was playing, but he reminded me so much of Gavin O'Herlihy, who played Brad in Superman 3, who is Lana Lang's ex, but they both kind of come across as the same kind of character. And physically at the time, they still kind of looked a little bit alike. So I'm just like, is this the guy from Superman 3? And then once I realized that it's not, I'm like, okay, I can have to, take a look back and start refocusing on the character. I mean, but he is very much, if you ever want to see a character and go, oh, that explains the son, this is that situation, right? Where Aguila is such a jag that, it explains Ted more than anything else could. More than the girlfriend, more than Cookie, more than Ty, more than the fast car and whatnot. Ted's dad basically sets the tone for Ted perfectly.
We never saw the mom. I'm almost curious. Like, who would marry that sleazy man, slimy man? I don't know.
Clearly, they got off the island real fast.
Yeah. She ran away on the boat.
Right. Billy Bird as Grandma Calamari. Your thoughts on her? Loved seeing her in this after we talked about her during our Police Academy run.
Love. Like, she was so damn funny. Oh my God. Where, as soon as they get to the house and she's all about doting over the granddaughter and just kind of ignoring her grandson completely, and then makes them dinner, as any, welcoming grandma would, and then slips Hoops the bill at the end of the dinner. Oh my God. I
love that scene so much.
So freaking perfect. She was so, there's nothing else I can say. I loved her. I wanted more of her, actually.
I mean, the thing is, though, at what point do you we love these characters and that's all well and good, but it's like, okay, what do you squeeze out in order to make room for some of these things, right?
No, I've got it. I wanted to see the crossover with her role in Police Academy where she's like armed. She's like granny armed to the nines. Like, I don't know if she's shooting holes in Teddy's boat or something. That's what I want to see. I want to see Grandma go like, I kind of wanted to see her a little bit more like,
a lot of gunplay for small little Nantucket here.
Well, I mean, come on, look at Akak's dad, right? Everybody in Nantucket is apparently armed. The crazy uncle waiting for the radio show.
Yeah, Bruce Wagner as Uncle Frank. Did you like this side plot?
You know what? I did, because as a kid, I remember just laughing when he's trying to take a bath and he brings his radio and the phone to the bathroom and he's constantly chain smoking. Like, you got to picture that this guy with like a mullet who doesn't look like he's left his room. And of course, in the room is a bazooka, right? Like,
why does everyone have a bazooka in Nantucket?
Again, why didn't Granny?
They didn't knock her off her feet.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like you have this C plot, and I liked the C plot. I think they went to it just enough. The moment when he's like it's celebrating and he accidentally pulls the phone cord out of the wall, it's like, oh. And they went right back to it. Like, makes you remember a time when we didn't have cell phones and we had to be like right by our phone waiting for that call, waiting for that
rotary
chance.
dial
the
phone.
Rotary dial phone.
And trying to call into the radio show with the rotary dial phone.
You tell me, growing up, if you were waiting for a phone call, you didn't just sit by that phone and wait before you had cell phones.
Yeah.
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 One more to talk about, Kristen Goles, who played Squid Calamari, who really only had like 2 lines of dialogue, but this little redhead had so many good scenes in this. Your thoughts on her?
Oh, God. Okay. The scene right off the bat where these 2 little girls are teasing her and making faces, and the crossing guard is like, said to them, if you keep making faces like that, you know, your face will stick.
If someone pats you on the back, yeah. Someone
taps you on the back and your face will stay like that. And the turnabout where they're making fun of the dog, calling it, alien dog?
Something
or
like that, yeah.
Space dog.
Oh, that poor dog with the cone.
Because of the cone and the like strange fluffy paw. And I mean, first of all, the dog. Let's talk about the dog. He was adorable, just like a mishmash of different breeds. It was kind of this, sad looking, I don't know, mutt, basically. But I loved him. And then these 2 girls are making fun of him. And so she slaps them on the back and their face stays like that. But then the Cabbage Patch doll was making faces and it stayed like that. It was so funny. But what were those kids where are the parents, first of all? They were on the boat to Nantucket. Like,
did you not notice something weird about your kids when they came back from school that day? I mean, surprisingly, this is actually Kristen Goles' only film. That's it. And she only had like 1 other TV acting role for 1 episode. It was this, and that's it.
Teens share everything. That may include the bacteria that can cause meningococcal disease known as meningitis. Even if your teen's been vaccinated in the past, they could still be missing meningitis vaccinations. Ask your teen's doctor or visit meningitis.com today. Sponsored by GSK.
Want to elevate your travel experience? Here's how. With a Delta SkyMiles Reserve American Express card, you can relax before your flight in the Delta Sky Club with up to 15 visits per medallion year. And now through July 15th, 2026, you can earn up to 125,000 bonus miles, so you're closer to your next adventure. The Delta SkyMiles Reserve card. Check out the new design at www.delta.com/Spotify. Minimum spending requirements and terms apply.
Adobe Firefly is the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video editing for today's creative process. Built for creators of every kind, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, the budgets aren't getting bigger, and the timelines, oh yeah, still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Unlock a better way to make with Adobe Firefly.
One major part of this film that we haven't really had a chance to talk about yet are the cartoons. Because this is a major aspect, because Hoops' character is an aspiring artist, aspiring to do cartoons and the like, which coincidentally the writer-director was as well. But your thoughts on those animated scenes and how they fit into this?
I loved it from the opening. I loved that they kept going back to it as almost like Hoop's drawings come to life. And the story about the rhino in search of love and, Love, who was this little naked cherub that is walking around with like a low sight cane, right? So he keeps passing by this rhino. He, I guess really visualizing love is blind, right? And he keeps missing this rhino.
Yeah.
He doesn't hit him with the arrow of love. And oh God, the fuzzy bunnies that kept teasing the rhino. Roses are red, violets are blue. Love will have nothing to do with you. And then he shoots the bunnies.
You make that violence sound just too cute.
It was so cute. And then
that is a Freddy Krueger level kind of sing song to go along with it.
Yeah.
All right. So I've kind of teased this a little bit, so let me get into this. As I'm sitting here and putting my notes together and thinking about the film, like how can you make this film better? Because like you said, the film is not perfect. Really, there is no such thing as a perfect film. I get it, except, Transformers the movie. It's fine, But I was thinking about this, and how do you... No, you don't have to change much in this, but hear me out, okay? Obviously, right off the bat, everyone who meets Ted, we don't like Ted, okay? And we can keep the beginning of the film perfectly the same. He helps Cassandra get away from dude with pink hair, get onto the boat, all good. They kind of go their separate ways, but he's still thinking about her, right? But he also meets Ted. You touched my car. You touched my car. Don't ever touch my car. Like we know this guy's a jag to begin with, right? And if Teddy's kind of like picking on like the storks and Akak along the way, so we build up the hatred for Ted. And at the same time, they learn that Ted and his father are doing this foreclosure thing on Cassandra's house. So they meet up at the bar while she's playing to try to raise money. They realize that they have an enemy in common in Ted. So they work together, and then the relationship builds as they're working together. We don't need Cookie trying to date Hoops. That just complicates things. We could have Ted try to get Cookie to get with Hoops after the fact to try to break up him and Cassandra to put a stop on things. But I mean, I feel like it should have been the whole goal to beat Ted. And you can still do it with the regatta and all that. Like I say, you don't need to change much. Just change a little bit of the Hoops and Cassandra angle. Just tweak it a bit.
I don't know. I think the Cookie dating Hoops, though, or at least, I don't know, accompanying him to a drive-in movie, I think it shows her entitlement. It shows like she wanted to win. And I think that somewhere along the line, she had to have gotten wind that Cassandra was, I don't know, maybe potentially Hoops' love interest, because I mean, how she drove past her and just kind of like splashed her with a puddle. Or maybe she could have known, right? That evening Hoops wanted to go to the show.
Dewdrop Inn, yeah.
The Dewdrop Inn, yeah, to see Cassandra's show. So I think it was kind of important to show her almost her entitlement, she wanted to be the love interest. She wanted to be the best woman.
But Cookie's
in
not that
Nantucket.
important, though. Really, in the grand scheme of things, Cookie's not that important.
No, but I love the end where Hoop's friend is like, let's stop playing games. And he kisses her. It's like.
Right? Okay.
That was
but the thing is,
odd.
you can get to that point easier too. So if Ted uses Cookie in order to be able to, like, throw a monkey wrench in the Cassandra and Hoop's connection, like forcing her to hit on him at the gig kind of thing. And then like she sees the extent of what she did in breaking up this couple, and she can feel bad about these things, right? You can actually redeem Cookie and make her a better character. I'm just saying, you can tweak this film. The pieces are there. They're absolutely there, even with the same actors on it. You just tweak the story a little bit.
I wouldn't change a thing. I don't think it needed to be changed. I think Cookie on her own was just entitled and, again, wanted to be, she wanted every man's attention. And it didn't matter if it was Hoops. It didn't matter if it was, any one of his friends. I kind of love how, like, the Stork brothers paid her no mind, like they were completely oblivious.
Seems like work. All right. So we've come to the end of our One Crazy Summer episode. We get to knock this one off the whiteboard now.
Yes. Thank you for this, because I have waited a long time for this.
You sound disappointed though in my thoughts on the film.
I wanted you to like it as much as I did, but you know what? You're entitled to being wrong.
I didn't dislike it. I just found that the B characters were the best parts of the film, and when they were in the film, in those moments, the film was really, really good. I just wanted the A story tweaked a little bit.
I think you're looking for a little too much from One Crazy Summer. It's meant to be fun.
I'm not saying it isn't fun. I'm just saying it could be funner. All right. One more piece of business. Your MVP of One Crazy Summer.
Ooh, this is tough. I'm going to go with Cassandra. Demi Moore was adorable and sweet, and I'm so happy that... what's interesting? Did you catch the end animation where Hoops was like, and they spent the summer in love? Well, what happened after the summer?
Right?
Did they break up? Oh my God, what happened? But it's never addressed. But no, I'm going to go with Cassandra. Going to go with Demi Moore. Totally perfect. So sweet. Even when the bank, she had the money. She met the deadline. That house should have been hers, no questions asked. But because the paperwork it was so seedy. It was like, no, this was her deadline and she had the money. That should have been enough, but it wasn't. So even though that was completely unfair, she was done dirty by the politics and money, right? Money talks. And that's what was winning out on this. I think she handled it beautifully, and she was so incredibly sweet. Although disappointed, she never lost her sweetness, never lost her positivity and her positive attitude. And I thought it was awesome.
You have strong feelings about this character, don't you?
I have strong feelings about this movie.
I'm shocked.
Oh?
How is your MVP not Bobcat Goldthwait?
Okay, you know what? Because I didn't want to be too obvious, and I wanted to give Demi Moore her due respect. But
okay.
I don't disagree with you.
I'm going to be completely obvious, and Bobcat Goldthwait is my MVP on this one because he is just every scene. And it's not even just that he's loud. It's just that the lines that come out the way they do, it's so perfect and the best part of the film. I do want to give a hat tip to Mark Metcalf, who played Ted, because you got to bring the douche in order to be able to make a character so unlikable. And Mark Metcalf masterclassed in douchery in this.
Yeah, but I think you're overlooking, and I don't disagree, with you choosing egg. But what about his brother?
The thing is, though, I mean, he's good. Don't get me wrong. I like the two of them together. It's like a perfect comedy duo, which is, I find funny, the angle of them being twins, but not really twins. This movie comes out 2 years before Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. So I wonder if this helped influence that film. But I just found Bobcat to get the bigger part of it, the bigger part of that comedic duo.
I don't disagree.
All right, Carrie, thank you so much for this. And to you, our dear listeners, well, you guys know the drill. If there is a movie out there that you think is unfairly maligned or so bad that there's no way in Nantucket that we can find anything good to say about it, hit us up on social media at NotThatBadcast or go to our website, notthatbadcast.com. And while you're there, check out our music show, There Can Only Be One, because in August, we have a special new show coming up on that channel called the Under 5 Top 5, where we get to talk about artists who had more than one album, but less than 5. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is It's Not That Bad, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
This episode is brought to you by Google Health. Stop chasing someone else's definition of health. What matters is what's healthy for you. Google Health offers a new kind of coach built with Gemini for effortless tracking, sleep insights, and holistic coaching tailored to you. Visit googlestore.com to learn more and start a new relationship with your health. Requires Google account, Google Health app, internet, and Google Health Premium subscription. Features subject to change. Availability and results vary. Not intended for medical purposes. Works independently of Gemini apps. Check responses for accuracy.